Crown Royal bag.
You only put important stuff in the Crown Royal bag.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's more than just loose change. It's if you're trying to hide something from the kids.
Mm-hmm. Candy.
Yeah,
And your wife. And your wife.
yeah.
Oh God.
Well, I don't have stuff for my wife.
You don't hide stuff from your wife.
Hey,
Good. I'm glad
I
you
don't.
said that because I'm recording right now.
Well, good, because it's the truth. I don't. I don't have anything. I am the rare guy that can leave his cell phone at home, go somewhere, and not trip out that my cell phone's at the house.
Well, yeah, you've been married long enough. I've been married long enough too. Like I give my phone to my wife. Like I ask her, "Hey, can you call somebody for me?" Like she know the
Right.
code. She should know the code. We
Now,
old.
but you ask the average dude if he can do that. He'd be like, "Hey, man, she ain't touching my phone."
Jay, you there
Ain't no,
yet? Are you
huh?
there yet? Did
yeah,
your
man,
wife
I'm
go through your
there.
cell phone?
No, he
Huh?
ain't. You ain't there yet, Doc. Will
I
she
am
be in your
there.
phone?
I'm about to use
No,
this.
because she got her own phone.
You ain't there yet, then.
And
Still a few more years, man.
welcome into the Barbershop
What?
918. You up in here with your man Bigg Dru,
Bigg Dru.
J-Roc.
Hey, Drew, you went out for a second, dude. We didn't
Boom.
hear anything you said. You went out for like good 5 seconds.
Even if
I heard everything.
yeah,
Did you?
like I can't edit this, so even when you don't hear it, let's just roll flow. 'Cause
Oh,
I just
oh,
lost
I'm
all of
sorry.
that. I can edit it. I didn't want to have to. Oh,
No, let's keep this in there.
We are a semi-professional show, if you haven't noticed after the 2 years
this,
and 83 episodes that we've done.
this is the first time that we've actually done this type of, setup. So, y'all give us a few weeks,
welcome into
right?
the. I'm gonna do it again then. Welcome into the Barbershop 918. You up in here with your man Bigg Dru.
Bigg
Bigg
Dru.
Dru.
Just one at a time. J-Roc
Boom.
and the one and only Raw Dawg.
Arr, arr.
All right, we got a jam-packed show for you today. We're doing something new, but we still going to bring you the best of what we got. We got the word on the street coming your way. We also going to talk a little bit about the NFL, college football, as well as NBA basketball. You know we love the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are currently playing right now. And I don't know if your Chicago Bulls are choosing to play back. I don't know if it's competitive at this point or what, Raw Dawg.
The Bulls
They
are
stink.
really, really bad. Hey, man.
Do they
The
though?
Bulls, the
But don't
Bulls are
they?
rebuilding this year, sir. They don't
Rebuilding
stink.
what?
They're just really bad. Okay.
When you think of garbage, think of the Chicago Bulls.
Uh-huh.
Not Matt Castle, but the Chicago Bulls.
When you think of Ginzu, think of what the Falcons did to the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh. All right. So with that being said,
When you think about the NFL, you can't touch me. You're not going to get in my head. I'm not even paying attention to you. We're not talking about the Raggedy Bears. That's all
No,
I'm
we're
saying.
not. The Bears are
Anything.
raggedy.
Now think about it.
But
No,
what's wrong with
no
America's
sport,
team, though? What's wrong with
no,
America's team?
no team in Chicago is doing well. They all stink right now.
Well, what's wrong with America's team? The expectations are higher, sir.
What are you talking about? The New England
They're not.
Patriots are the best team in the AFC right now.
Oh, now you all on the New England Patriots side.
No,
See,
this
this
is
sounds a lot like
America's
what you
team.
were saying when we were talking about Golden State.
No, because you can say this is America's team, but the Dallas Cowboys is God's team. Get it right, buddy.
Okay, well then, what happened? Why did the Falcons get to God's teams? What happened, Doc? You gonna
Why
blame
are
it
we
all on
talking?
me?
Why are we talking about NFL when we should be doing "Word on the Street"? It's the
Because you
sweet
went there.
one.
First of all, you stealing my stuff. Stop doing
That's
that, man.
because
I'm
you
not
came
gonna
with
have
my
you doing that.
Cowboys. You came with
Don't
my Cowboys. You know it.
whatever.
You know you wrong. You
And
know
that gets
you
the word on
wrong.
the screen. I don't want to talk to you. Get off my screen, Drew. I'm
Your
talking to you, sir.
Mama Raw Dog taught you better than that, Raw Dog. You shouldn't be coming at my team.
Drew, let's go on with the show.
all right. So it is time for the word on the street. We're gonna go ahead and kick it off with J-Roc.
Word on the street.
Oh God.
It's the sweet one.
He hit that note higher than he ever did. He's like, Jay, you are Ralph Tresvant and you are Johnny Gill. You are not taking my spot.
You want my spot flash?
You can't have it.
Have it.
You ain't got it.
Got it.
Trying to riff like him, Jay.
Oh. You win. You win.
All right. Go ahead, Jay.
Give us your numbers as far as what's going down with the music industry, boss.
Music industry this week, the Billboard Top 200, coming in at number 5, Without Warning. That's the Metro Boomin, Offset, and 21 Savage album. Coming in at number 3 is Full Moon on Full Heart on a Full Moon by Chris Brown.
Heartbreak, right? Chris, yeah.
Walking Down a Deer Creek in some church pants by Chris Brown.
I gotta hear that track.
In the number 1 album in America is Sam Smith, The Thrill of It All. I haven't heard the album yet, but I heard it's banging. So I got to check that out.
That Too Good at Goodbyes, man. That track, yeah. My wife loved that track, man.
Yeah, it did touch a brother, you know what I'm saying? It hit the spot,
you,
but...
Jay? And where they touch you?
Crit. I heard Big Crit do a freestyle on a show one time. That dude, he's pretty good.
So now you can stop dissing me and dissing my boy.
I don't diss Big Crit. I don't diss you. It's all in love, Jay. You just an easy target. But moving on.
All right. So
you didn't let me finish. The new album coming out this week is Saha the Prince, aka Kanye West's ghostwriter for the last 7 years. He's finally releasing an album. It's called Dope on a Sunday. You know what I'm saying? It's a rapper out of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Big Crit, this is another artist that I was anticipating his album. His album is available on NPR right now. The album is released this Friday, so check it out. Yeah. And that's the music news for the week, sir.
All right, Hoodie Mello.
Hoodie Rock. Get it right. Hoodie Rock.
Hoodie Rock. All right, check it out. This is a big weekend for the movies. Want to know why? Because the Justice League is coming out this weekend, bruh. We talking about Batman, The Flash, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg. Man, it's going to be crazy, man. Justice League about to make some money this week. Now, if Justice League ain't your thing, there is a animated movie called The Star that has Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, and Tracy Morgan doing the voices for the animals. They're telling the birth of Christ from the animals' point of view.
I can just picture Tracy Morgan going there like, I'm going to get you pregnant, Mary.
Yo, I see the commercials. It looks really, really cute, man. I ain't going to lie. And like I said, it has Tyler Perry in it, and I'm not disliking it. So that's good.
And
all right.
We know you don't like black stuff, so that's good for you.
No, I don't like black corny stuff. That's what it is. And Tyler Perry's got black corny all over him. But I would recommend, if you're going to take your kids out to see an animated movie, check out The Star. It's got a good message. It's about the birth of Christ. It's probably got some really, really good, warm moments in it. Check it out. But hey, if you're looking for some action, Justice League is where you need to go. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
All right.
I got another movie suggestion. The book, there was a book called Wonder. It's a kid's book. If you
Wonder.
Yeah, you definitely should go see Wonder. It was a good book. I say even do it in reverse. Let me not lie like I read the book. My wife and my son read the book, and they're amped to go see it this weekend. I think it's a good movie.
This is about the little kid that has the facial deformity.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What was the movie back in
a Mask?
Yeah, what was the movie? Was that the movie in the 80s? It was
yeah. With Cher.
With Cher, yeah. That was
Eric, I forgot his last name.
The dude that played in oh man, I can't even think of his name. Redhead dude. I can't think of his name. Mm-hmm. But Cher was the star of the movie, and it was a great movie. And Wonder is another one you can check out. So far, it's getting a lot of good reviews. So like they're doing a lot of counter programming. You know, for every Justice League, there's a star. For every star, there's a Wonder. So that's another one you can check out via your boy Bigg Dru, because he likes some kind of films. You know what I'm saying? Those heartwarming, heart-tugging films that make you cry.
Stays warm.
Yes, exactly. So, who won in the box office last weekend? Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing. This is a good week because Tyler Perry's Boo is not in the top 5.
Boo!
Yes, it's number 6. It finally creeped out the top 5. And that's a good thing for everybody involved. Would y'all agree?
No.
Man, whatever, man. Number 5 is Jigsaw. Still in top 5, still making money. Number 4, A Bad Mom's Christmas. Number 3 is a new movie called Murder on the Orient Express. Yeah, remake. Number 2, Daddy's Home 2.
Saw
And
that.
number 1, what you gonna say?
No, I said I saw that. Daddy's Home too. It was all right, man.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Was it better than Daddy's Home 1?
No, absolutely not.
It never is. And number 1, of course, is Thor Ragnarok. Still making money. Made $57 million last week. That one's probably gonna get knocked off.
One of the
knocked
best
off this
movies I've seen in a while.
You what now?
I said I saw that also, man. One of the best movies I've seen in a while. One of the best from the Marvel series of movies.
I've been hearing that this is getting a lot of reviews. They say it's actually quite funny.
Yeah, from beginning to the end, man. Good.
Yeah, I gotta check that out.
Yeah.
So that's it, man. Those are the box office champs for the week, and what's coming out this Friday.
All right, so that's the word on. Well, we got a little bit of television to talk about, man. You mentioned Ric Flair last week, Jay, and you watched it and you liked it. I finally watched it. Raw Dawg watched it. I was amazed by it, man. Like I was emotionally captivated. I say my heart got warm and my eyes may have almost sneezed something out, but that's my review of it. It was emotional. It was pretty good.
It was one of the better 30 for 30s because it started off, Rick was just straight up like, yeah, I didn't care, man. I lived the way I wanted to live. I drank, I slept with all these women and blah, blah, blah. But as you can see, the way that the documentary was put together, you can almost see, his trajectory from this bigger than life character to as he's getting older and he starts becoming more mortal, how his hard living starts kind of, taking a toll on him. And then you see what happens when, because, his son passed away and how he reacted to that. And then, of course, he had that issue where he pretty much almost died. It was quite a journey, man, and to see it all at once, I think it's about an hour and 30 minutes. It was a great documentary, man. And I'm a big Ric Flair fan. The dude is just one of the best wrestlers out there. One of the best characters ever made for wrestling, bro.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so that's it for the word on the street. Now it's time for us to get into, let's say, NFL talk. Jay?
Yep.
You ready for that?
Let's talk NFL. Jay.
Sure, let's talk NFL talk.
Yeah. Now, let's just put it out there. Chicago is not a good football team. This was established at day 1 of the NFL season. Now, what was established on your point, sir, is that Dallas Cowboys is going to have that year, right? You made that very clear. You said that. This is going to be their year. Do I need a witness? Do I need a witness?
He said that.
I didn't say that.
You're going to sit here and lie, bro. What did you say then? What kind of year was the Cowboys going to have?
I said they would finish second in the division behind the Giants and make the playoffs as a wild card.
You didn't say that, man. That's not even how you said it.
Go back to episode 77.
What?
Go back to episode 77.
I'm not going back to nothing.
Or was it 76?
The expectations have always been higher for the Dallas Cowboys. Okay? They're a primetime team. They're America's team. Or as you put it, sir, so blasphemously, they're God's team.
God's team. Get it right.
And I want to know why the Falcons ripped them up like they did on Sunday.
All right, we can get into it. The Cowboys lost 27-7 on Sunday. They were without their all-pro running back, Ezekiel Elliott.
You're going to blame it on Zeke. It's all Zeke, right? What about the other players on the team?
Well, if you would let me talk, I would finish.
Because you sound like every Dallas Cowboy fan I talk to. They've all said we didn't have Zeke.
Okay, go ahead and talk. You won't
let me talk. That's your excuse. Go ahead.
No, number 2, they didn't have their all-pro left tackle, Tyron Smith, who was out with that game. So Dak Prescott was sacked a career-high 8 times, including 6 times by Adrian Claiborne, who came on the left side of the field. Chad Green could not protect Dak Prescott's blind side, so he was in the backfield all day. He had 6 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, and the Cowboys could not click on offense. Alfred Morris, who's the replacement for Ezekiel Elliott, had 58 yards. He had one good run for about 21 yards, but after that, it was nothing else. The Cowboys are hurting right now. Dan Bailey, the kicker's out. Sean Lee is out again with hamstring issues. Ezekiel Elliott is out until Christmas Eve, and Tyron Smith is going to miss the next 2 games. So they go into this game against the 8-1 Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles fans are talking a lot of trash right now. I laugh because they still got ring pops. They do this every year. We can go back to the Donovan McNabb years where they were happy with winning the NFC East, but they don't do anything after that. So it's gonna be a good game on Sunday. It's gonna be Sunday Night Football, the Cowboys versus Eagles. It should be a good contest.
Okay, so what's gonna happen? You listed all these things the Cowboys don't have. You pretty much are setting yourself up to say that's the reason why they're gonna lose this game too.
I didn't say that. I said they're gonna win because I feel like
you might as well say it.
No, because I feel like the Eagles are pretenders. They've been pretending all season, and I feel like they're gonna be exposed.
Carson is a pretender. That quarterback.
Quote me on this, and we can come back and talk about this in 2 weeks after the Thanksgiving break. The Philadelphia Eagles are some pretenders.
I ain't talking about the Eagles. I'm talking about that particular quarterback. I've seen that guy play. He's the real deal.
He doing his thing, but we should see how he do on Sunday.
He's doing his thing.
What he gonna do on Sunday? Yeah, I'm talking mad noise right now. I'm talking like you was in Bedlam 2 years ago. Let's see what Carson Wentz can do on the road. He didn't got his rocks off playing against some bottomless teams this year. You know, he lost to the Chiefs, didn't he? Didn't he lose to the Chiefs?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he lost it. That's his only loss this season. He gonna get his second loss on Sunday. That's all I got to say about that.
Okay, so with all of y'all deficits, y'all still gonna beat the Eagles, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We own the Eagles.
All right.
This is not the Eagles division.
I just want everybody to see this. So next week, I don't want to hear any excuses, man. I don't want to hear any. I don't want to hear. Well, he was gone and he was gone.
Mm-hmm.
If the Dallas Cowboys lose, I don't want to hear nothing, Jay. Nothing, dude. I just want you to say, yeah, we lost. We got our butts beat. That's all I want to hear. If they lose, because you listed all their reasons why they should lose, and you're saying that they're still going to win.
They gonna win.
All right.
I believe in that.
Next week, bro.
I believe in that. I believe in that.
All right, that's it for NFL talk. Now, what went down with OSU and versus Iowa State, and then we had OU versus TCU. Raw Dawg, go ahead. Did you see any of that OSU game?
I did. A game that was way too close for comfort for me. You know, I felt like OSU could have been more dominant, but they did what they had to do to win the game. OSU makes me real nervous, man. I'm a fan, but I just never know which OSU team is going to come out. Mason is pretty consistent. It's just that sometimes, you know, the supporting players, you know, they don't deliver all the time, and plus our defense isn't that great, you know. So we end up being in these shootout games. I hate these shootout games because anything can happen. It only takes you to turn the ball over in these shootout games to lose, and it always ends up being with the team that has the ball last. So it was a win nonetheless. We need to win out if we're going to get into the Big 12 conference game. We can't lose. You can't lose anymore. So I'll take it for what it is. We won. Boom. That's all we need to do. We just need to win. It may be ugly. It may be sloppy. But if we get the W, that's all that matters.
What about you, J-Roc? Do you feel like OU showed up bigger than you expected?
Yeah, they showed out. They showed up big time in prime time last Saturday against TCU. They were number 5 team in the country versus the number 6 team, Baker Mayfield. He came out like he asked for the crowd to be more energetic than they were in 2008 when OU played Texas Tech, and they were very loud. They won 38-20. I was more impressed with on the defensive end with the secondary. They had 4 freshmen playing, and you know it's one of those questions like Mike Stoops, where was these freshmen at all season? Because you struggled with the cornerbacks that you have in Jordan Thomas and Whaley and all these people. And the freshmen, they played hard. They won 38-20. Rodney Anderson had over 290 yards of total offense, 4 touchdowns for the Sooners. He's also, you know, taking over the Rams as the lead running back for the Sooners. They had a trio of running backs throughout the season, but Rodney Anderson has proven that he is the right one for the position. He's been healthy, and he's helping them out this year. The Sooners right now, they're sitting at number 4 in the college football playoffs. They have to win their last 3 games because if they win against Kansas and West Virginia, they go to the Big 12 championship game, and they have to win the Big 12 championship game in order to stay in the college football playoff race. Because right now, number 2 and number 3 are Clemson and Miami. They play each other in the ACC championship game, so if they keep winning, one of those teams are going to cancel each other out. And so a lot of people are saying, with who's going to play, OU's going to play. Right now, the way the Big 12 is, because it's 9 teams, it's a slight chance that all 6 teams will finish in a 5-4 tie. But that's impossible because we know that Kansas sucks. But Oklahoma State is going to need TCU to lose at least one game. And I feel like a lot of Oklahoma fans are going to be biting their nails that TCU wins their last 2 games, because they don't want to see an Oklahoma State team again on a neutral site.
No, I don't think they do. That was already a thrilling game. All right, so what's the current standings right now? Does anybody have that pulled up as far as the college football?
College football player?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have number 1 is Alabama. They pulled out a 27-24 victory over Mississippi State. Number 2 is Clemson. Number 3 is Miami. Miami has a lot of buzz right now after beating Notre Dame. We talked about the Catholics and convicts, and a lot of the Miami people. I was reading this after you had mentioned what you said last week, Drew, about these are some good young men. And one of the players came out and said, I don't like that we're being put in this light that we're convicts based off of what happened in the 80s and the 90s. We do a lot of community service in the Miami-Dade area. So he's like, we shouldn't be compared to what the other players are. The only thing that we should be compared to is we having the same swag as them. And they have that turnover chain that has, become very popular in social media right now. But Miami's number 3, OU's number 4, and Wisconsin, who's undefeated right now, they're number 5 in the college football playoffs. So it's still a lot of football left to play, and it's going to be a fun ride until the college football playoffs.
All right. So coming up in the Barber Shop 918, we still have our final cut and a little bit of NBA talk. But real quickly, I want to discuss something that's related to college sports in general, and that's college basketball. We know what happened with UCLA. We mentioned this last week, where the 3 young men got caught shoplifting. Now, today, one of the things that's kind of been circulating, especially on Black Twitter, is Donald Trump saying, now will these kids give me a thank you for basically bailing them out? And a thank you has been issued to President Trump. Also, we also talked about I know everybody disagrees when I accidentally say President Trump. It felt weird. But the other thing that the president is in the news for right now is Kaepernick is on the cover of GQ Man of the Year, and a lot of people, and really the president didn't have much to do with this, but a lot of people are up in arms saying, well, why not J.J. Watt? Because he raised a lot of money.
A lot of people. What kind of people? What kind of people talking about?
Yeah, it's a lot. You know what? When I originally sent this to you guys as a topic of discussion, I was only seeing one particular group of people, and then I saw that brother. It's always that one or two.
Always one, right? It's always one Uncle Ruckus in the whole crowd.
I can't say that it's only one demographic of people there that is starting to pick up steam, and it could be a person who's just emotional because they live in Houston and they may have benefited from that. So if you put something behind it that no one can deny was a good thing, that could be the momentum. But looking at the grand scheme of who Colin Kaepernick is and how he's conducted himself, I would like to say that I think it's a just reward. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where he's out there doing things with kids. He's in, it's one thing to raise money. It's another thing to give out of not out of your surplus, but like actually give out of when you have a need, you're unemployed and you're giving your money to kids. I think that's what kind of dictates you being Man of the Year. Regardless if people agree with why you kneeled or whatever, those are the reasons. It's the character of the man, which is strong. If people look at him and look beyond the action that they disagree with. So what's your take on that? Or, we can switch to the UCLA thing and get your take on that too.
I think Colin started a movement, man. And one of the things that I got to give Colin props on this whole situation with the kneeling and the silent protests is he really hadn't said a lot. He really, honestly, let his actions speak for themselves. And other people have spoken for Colin. Colin really hadn't said much about the whole thing. He just kind of gone on about his business. He hadn't really made any sweeping speeches or anything talking about how unfair it is. He just did what he did. It started a movement, and he continued on that path without really saying a whole lot, man. You got to give props to that. Whether you dislike what he started or not, you have to see that what he did was influential to a lot of players, man, and a lot of people in general. Now, if we go back to these three young men who put themselves in a perilous situation in China. Yeah, it was wrong what they did, but to have uh, a childish man go out of his way to tell these boys, these kids, don't you owe me a thank you? It's just ridiculous. This orange man child, instead of just doing what an adult does, bail the kids out and going about your business, you're gonna ask these kids to give you a thank you so that makes you feel better. This reject from Sesame Street has the audacity to go there with them. Look, dude, you're the president. Act like the president, be a man. Yeah, what these kids did was wrong, and they're gonna pay for it one way or another, whether it's from the NCAA, whether it's from UCLA or whatever. They're gonna get penalized. They don't need you to pile on and and make them say thank you to you, Mr. President, respectfully.
What about you,
So,
J-Roc? You got anything to say on those issues?
I mean, the thing with Colin Kaepernick, you know, this has been a year. Despite him not playing a down in the NFL, he's still making an impact. And you can just look at, that all these teams are blackballing him. You can look at the Buffalo Bills right now. They have a guy named Peterson that's their starting quarterback on Sunday. You have the Arizona Cardinals that are starting Drew Stanton on Sunday. You have Green Bay that'll be starting. I forgot my name. Brett
Huntley, Huntley,
Huntley
Huntley.
on Sunday. You have the Houston Texans that'll have Tom Savage starting on Sunday, and
I don't even know who these people are.
a lot of these teams, and they're going to the bottom of the barrel to pick quarterbacks when you have a healthy quarterback out there who led a team to the Super Bowl. He completed 60% of his passes last year, 18 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, over 2,200 yards, but nobody wants a piece of him. And society as a whole has gotten behind him. It's been people who didn't like him, and we'll get to see the full when the investigation of Jerry Jones, Gadet, Troy Vincent, Bill Kraft, when that all comes out, the Houston Texans owner, to see how they really feel about Colin Kaepernick. But that cover, it was a beautiful picture. I like the picture where he was surrounded by all the kids, and they put like a picture of Muhammad Ali from when he was in Africa back in the 70s. And it was like a great picture to compare. And, a lot of people said the whole thing with J.J. Watts and everything, it was just more of if they didn't have that, I'm happy that J.J. Watts, he raised all that money, for the flood victims. But nobody, like Raw Dawg said, nobody talked about Colin Kaepernick taking the money out of his pocket. He's unemployed right now. I mean, he doesn't have any endorsements coming in, and he's giving it to all those different schools. Nobody talks about that, and that's what like irks me with the media. It kind of like makes this nation. We know that it's still a lot of racism going on, but when things like this happen, we see people come out with their true colors and show their true racism. And despite all that's going on, Kaepernick, he never gave in. He's still good on his stance. Even though they told him that, they put out that fake news saying that he would change the way he's been doing this approach if he's picked up by a team. And he came out and said, I didn't do that. He hasn't changed. And so that's one reason why I still rock with the guy. Now, as far as with LiAngelo Ball and the 2 other UCLA players, they're definitely suspended right now. It irks me that, Why would you steal that? You have a Ferrari or a Lamborghini from when I watched the show. Why do you have to steal from all these shows? Is it that you felt like you're so high up being a ball, your last name being Ball, that you can just do anything? And of all places in the world for you to steal, that was the wrong place for you to steal. I'm not saying that, we should like pat him on the back and feel sorry. No, he's getting the punishment that he deserves. I feel like all three of them should be kicked off the team, because if they were scrubs and not top 100 high school players, they would be off the team. And as far as with Trump, it's you did a good deed. You didn't have to go on Twitter and say what you had to say. That's what like irked me. If he would have just left it alone, I would have been like, okay, that was a good move by you. But the fact that you came out and said that just made me mad. And so that's all I got to say. I don't like talking much about number 45. I just felt like, it was a good move. But then when he started talking on Twitter, it just went away.
All right, so it's time for us to get into a little bit of NBA talk. The Oklahoma City Thunder seems like they're going to catch a little bit of a rhythm. But since the last time we talked, that road trip, or it wasn't even a road trip, just that there was a stretch of games that was brutal. And the pattern was really teams that are going to be in playoff contention potentially, or teams that have a little bit of backbone, we didn't do well against. So where are you guys? How do you feel about the Thunder right now? Because at this point, for me, as I'm looking at the team, I'm loving Paul George and the chemistry that Paul George seems to have naturally with Westbrook. I'm not in love with Carmelo. I feel like Carmelo coming in at the last minute, we're seeing the result of Carmelo coming in at the last minute. Like there's not enough chemistry there for them to catch a real groove. Now I know that they've had meetings and conversations, and every week or every day they've released different parts of the conversation and talked about what they talked about. But I kind of feel like this is a team that as I watch them play, I really do feel like they're gonna be okay. I just like the way the squad plays minus Carmelo. I just kind of feel like it would have been a much easier team to win with minus him. I'm not complaining about him. I'm not saying that we're better off without him. I'm just saying I currently like when he's not on the floor with when all three of them are not on the floor.
I think it's gonna take a little bit more time for Carmelo to really gel with the team. True, they move a lot faster with him not on the floor. The ball doesn't slow down as much. Carmelo he's a one-on-one player. That's what he did when he was with the Knicks. That's what he did when he was with the Nuggets. That's how he plays. It's kind of hard to change that overnight. You know what I mean? I think at some point in this season, Carmelo will make adjustments to his game. He's going to always be a one-on-one player. He's going to always be the guy that's either going to back you down, back up and get it, and give you a shot or whatever. But I think he may make some tweaks to his play to make sure that the ball's moving a lot faster. Maybe he don't take a shot as soon as he get the ball. Maybe he'll pass it a couple of times. I still think we need him. I still think down the line we're gonna need him. Now we play Chicago tonight. Chicago's not that good, and they got a 20-point lead on them now. But keep in mind, the next few games they've got the Spurs and they've got the Pelicans and they got the Warriors. See, those are the times when we need Carmelo because we need another scorer. Now, if we can find a way to balance the fact that PG and Carmelo are scorers with the fact that we need to move the ball, I think we'll have exactly what we need. But that's going to take some time. It really is. And it hasn't even been a full quarter of the season yet. So let's just see how things go, man. I'm a definitely glass half full with the Thunder right now.
When is do we have a timetable on Steven Adams like being fully recovered?
Well, I think it's if it was the playoffs, he would tough it out and play. But right now they're just trying to get him healthy. That's just my opinion on it. We seen that road trip with the Thunder, and it didn't look good. And a lot of people are panicking and everything. And I'm like, like we said last week, it's just the first. It's not even the first quarter of the season. We may have played 13 games.
Right.
We haven't even played 20 games. And this is what you get whenever like you said, Carmelo came in like a week before training camp, and it's kind of hard to like get that rhythm and chemistry when you've already with your other teammates, you're getting everything together. But we've seen what Paul George has done the last 2 games when they played against, I forgot the first team, but I know they played against the Mavericks, where he put up, the Clippers and the Mavericks. He put up 37 points and 42 points. So he's put up 79 points in those 2 games. So we know what he can do.
Jay,
and we know that Russ.
There you go.
Oh, my bad. My bad. But we know what he can do on the offensive end, and he's a great defender as well with Andre Roberson. And I just feel like, we just got to trust the process. Just trust the process. With Carmelo, it's kind of like a 50-50 with him. I love Carmelo for what he can do on the offensive end, but at sometimes I feel like they defer to him. Like, I think it was the Boston game where they just kept giving him the ball, and he couldn't hit anything. And I feel like it was times where Russ should have been, driving and, trying to get to the basket. If he couldn't, then kick it out to Paul George. But it's still a lot of season left. I'm very curious to how they will play against. I hope they're full strength when they play Golden State. I'm curious to see how they play because, a lot of media people have on paper said that this could be a preview of a Western Conference Finals. But we can't look past the Spurs team because it's Greg Popovich coaching. They may not have Kawhi Leonard, but they still are a Greg Popovich coach team. They're very disciplined. And then the Pelicans, who are a surprise team this year with their front court of Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins, who are fantasy basketball studs. So we can't look past those games and look to next Wednesday's matchup at home with the Golden State Warriors.
Well, speaking of the Warriors tomorrow have the Celtics, and the Celtics have been real hot. Who do you guys have on that game? Warriors-Celtics.
Warriors.
The Celtics, a lot of people are rallying behind them because they lost those first 2 games. They lost Gordon Hayward to that horrifying injury. But, it's just it's impossible. Like, you have to really, cut the Warriors off with their legs. And it's, like I said, they have so many weapons that it's got to be one of those days where you don't miss. In the games that they've lost this year against the Rockets and the Grizzlies, and I forgot the other team they lost to, I think that maybe the only 2 losses. They didn't miss. So I don't just based on the way that Boston plays, they're like a scrappy team. Like they run offensive plays, but on the defensive end. But it's going to be hard to defend the big 4 that Golden State has in their hungry bench. And they'll have Steph Curry coming back.
I hate even saying that. It makes my stomach literally just want to throw everything up by saying that the Golden State Warriors are going to win because I can't stand Golden State. But it is what it is. You got to call it like you see it. And as scrappy as Boston is, man, Warriors are just going to outscore them.
Yeah.
Period.
All right. So last thing about the NBA that I thought was a little bit interesting is Cantor's brief little beef with LeBron James. I know that the media reported it like LeBron shut him down. Honestly, I think Cantor's line was dope as is. And yeah, LeBron coming back saying, my wife's the queen. Yeah, whatever, dude. That's corny. I feel like Cantor won, but maybe I'm just biased because I like Cantor.
You're a little biased.
Yeah, of course I am. Yeah.
you know what I said when I seen Cantor run up on when he ran up on LeBron. I was like, where was this at when Zaza knocked over Russ last year in that first game against Golden State? You run up on LeBron, but you didn't run up on Zaza because that's your boy.
Because he's losing now. Like, losing a lot. He's very frustrated. He wasn't as frustrated here. We were losing, but we did get to the playoffs. And New York, they're losing bad. So,
the
Knicks is
Knicks,
bad.
They got a winning record right now. The Knicks have a winning record right now. I think they're 7-5 because the Porzingis, he's one of the best scorers in the league right now. But honestly, it's the first month of the season. Everybody, they're celebrating their team being 12-3, but will you still be celebrating when April comes around? That's my thing.
Who's 12-3? That's celebrating.
Who's that? The Rockets and the who else is that? Boston and Golden State. They're the 3 best teams in the league right now.
Yeah.
Can I just say I believe James Harden is overrated? Can I say that?
He's gonna win the MVP this year.
The
I
Rockets
don't
are
care.
The Rockets are 11-4. The Warriors are 11-3, and the Celtics are 13-2. And the Pistons are surprising people at 10-3. I don't know
There
how
you
real
go.
that is.
There you go. There's the team. There's the team. Sorry, G. Sorry, Gil, but your Pistons, I don't see them playing up at this same level when April comes around.
No, I don't. Not at all. All right, it's time for the final cut. We got about 5 more minutes left in the show. Time to give you our final cut. This is where we kind of just tell you what's on our heart, our minds, and just give you the last 5 minutes. In this last 5 minutes here, J-Roc, go ahead, kick it off. 5 minutes.
It's just 5 minutes, Jay.
So, not a
I
piece.
give you.
So do the math, sir.
And we don't want to talk to just the forehead and the hood. Like, we want to see.
All right. All right. I give you a minute and 30. All right. I think start, and now we are in 2017, and I'm a very proud alumni. This coming Saturday, the Langston University will play the Northwestern Iowa University for our first home playoff game in the school's 120-year tradition. Lifetime. We talk about going to see OU play, OSU play, TU play, and everything. And this is one time where I'm very proud as an alumni because it's the first time that we have something of our own that we can host. And I'll be there, my wife will be there, and all my friends will be there. It's homecoming 2.0. I'm very proud of what Hugh Morgan, a player who played at Langston back in 2004, what he's done with this team. They finished the regular season undefeated the first time since 1973. So I look forward to being there on the yard with all of my friends, alumni, and everybody else so we can have a good time. We can cheer on the Langston Lions to a victory. It's always good when it's something that you were a part of. Working in sports information, it makes me even feel more excited about this game because we've been waiting for a long time for Langston to have a playoff game. And so I look forward to that game. I look forward to all the Langston family being out there. And like I say every week, winners win, losers lose, and they all find a way to do what they do. I'm Hoodie Rock from the Barber Shop 918. We love you guys. Good night.
I'm about to do something that I've never done before since we've started the show. I'm actually going to quote the Bible. Zechariah 4:10. This is out of the New Living Translation. Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. I quote it because no matter what it is that you do, always do it in excellence. Because it's the small beginnings that can be blessed to get you to the next level. So even if it's the smallest, and I tell my kids this all the time, I don't care if it's cleaning your room, I don't care if it's taking out the garbage. You better be the best cleaning your room, taking out the garbage you can. Do everything you do in excellence, because once you get to the top tier level, you will just continue in that same work ethic as doing everything in excellence. So that's my message for the day, man. Whatever you do it in excellence, do it well, and do it enough to have some pride in it. With that being said, don't tell God about your big problems. Tell your problems you got a big God. And Raw Dawg is out.
All right, so check this out. For me, the number one thing that I think about right now, listening to what those two gentlemen said, is I want to urge everyone to support your local businesses, support the things that are within your community. Support black-owned businesses. Support businesses that feed into the community that you live in, because it's needed for someone to do something and have, and to risk it all. An entrepreneur takes all financial risk and they go out there and they do something to live out their dream every day. Support them in that. It takes a courageous individual to say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to make someone else rich. I'm going to go ahead and do something for my community. I'm going to do something for me, and I'm going to leave a lasting legacy for myself and for my family. That's admirable, and it's worth you paying attention to, and it's worth your dollars. So make sure when Black Friday and all this other stuff comes around that you make a point to support small businesses, and you make, not on a special day, go out and spend a little bit of money at the same time you out spending money with the major retailers. Do what you can do to support black-owned businesses, especially black-owned hair businesses, but not just black businesses, other businesses too. So That's my
It feels like
spiel.
a plug.
Yep.
Go ahead, Drew.
So that's mine for today. And remember, man, don't let the hate in at all. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And we love you guys for listening, and we thank you for listening to the Barbershop 918. And make sure you check us out at
thebarbershop918.com, baby. On iTunes, on Buzzsprouts, on Facebook, on Instagram, on everything, man. We everywhere.
All
Check it
right.
out.
So
Check
make
it
sure you
out.
check us out. We out.